so we have two regular solids, okay, one on top of the other. So this is our prism, and that's our pyramid. Okay, so I put a XY axis between my auxiliary view and my front view. So to do my left view, I'm going, and which that I obviously do on my right hand side because it's first angle, I'm going to draw a new XY axis. Then all corners of my front view, excluding my section line, I project across. Okay, so here, that one, this one, that one, there, and they might all project across. Then I'm going to use the rule of similarity using my compass to find the views here. So we work from the existing XY axis to the new XY axis. So it doesn't matter where you start, you can start anywhere, as long as you always work from the XY axis to each point. So I'm going to take this distance. Now, if I follow this construction line, it aligns with this point and that point. So I'm going to do it twice. So then I go to that point, follow the construction to the side, scribe. To the next point, follow the construction, scribe. Now, these 2 points are parallel, so I don't have to move my compass. I'm just going to now do this 2 points here as well. So, to the new XY axis, scribe. To the new XY axis, scribe.
Oh, because in line with the...
Yes, yes. Okay, so then I'm going to go there, to that point. And this is in line with this point and that point. So again, across, scribe, there, across, scribe. Now, for this back point, it also aligns with that one and that one. Do you see that? Because it makes a square. So then I'm going to take it to that side, there, scribe, that side, there, scribe. And then lastly, I need to get my peak here for my prism, which I then take from there to the center of my auxiliary view. Yes, and then I follow it across, and I scribe. So now I can go, I draw it in construction first because I don't know what's going to be sectioned away and what is going to stay. So if you get confused with this, always go back to your front view. So for example here, you might want to take it to that point, but don't, because if you follow your construction, that goes to that point there. And it is supposed to go to this point here, which is the bottom one. So then, to the bottom one, there, and then there, and then there. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same for this one, here, drawing it in, there, 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 and I'm just going to connect my sides. I connect, this is in the front, this is at the back, because if I look at it, that we're looking at it from the left hand side, yes, so from that side, this will be at the back. Do you see that? So that will be hidden detail, but I'm going to do constructional hidden detail. Okay, then this one will be solid, which is here, between that point and that point. So that will be solid. Yes, solid. Now, this part here, which is that line there, they will also be hidden detail in construction. And they asked to show all hidden detail, so do it in construction. The hidden detail, you can use an erasing shield and just erase the construction. I don't have one here now, so that's why I'm not using it. Okay, and then also this part there, which is this part there, will also be hidden detail because it disappears behind this part here at the front. So that will also be hidden detail. In detail, do you see now that line is also hidden detail? Okay, so now I have my basic figure and I just need to combine it here to the bottom so that I get it on my prism as well as on my pyramid, from my prism to my pyramid. Okay, now I'm going to do this section. So now what I do is I project my section wherever my section line touches a line of my two solids. I project that across. So there it touches there it touches, there, and there. Now, there's two ways that you can do this. You can either just go and see, okay, this line is that point, and if I turn, it will be this point here. No? The other method that you can do is, this is on a 60-degree angle, you can take that point, project it to your auxiliary view, there. This one you can't because it's parallel to an axis, but that point you can again, and that one you can again. So you'll see there, I already projected them there. So what you can do is, you then use your rule of similarity with your xy axis to there, follow the line there, and that will give you that point there. Then you know that it's right. And you can do the same with this one here. There, to there, follow there, and you see. So it cuts there and there. This one which you can't find, this one, that's all on an axis, that one you'll just have to take there and there, okay? Except if you take it to your top view and you get that distance and you project it to that view there, okay? But it's not necessary. So the last points that we need is these two that you'll see is there and there, so they will be there and there. Okay, so now I'm going to draw it in, and this I'll draw in solid because I know that it will be solid. And if you practice this, you'll see that it goes quick.
Everything we need you to do is just practice.
Yes, practice makes perfect. Okay, so then, because it's two regular solids on top of one another, where they meet, which is there by the section line, this part will be a solid line, okay? So then I'm going to hatch them in different directions because it's two different figures. And this is mechanical hatching. 45 degree, there, there. Even though it is first angle, we use mechanical hatching, okay? There.
But when is hatching not 45?
When it's on a 45-degree angle, yeah.
Okay, then look.
Yes, okay. So then this one goes that way. There. 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 And see, I make sure that they align. The hatching must align with one another. There. And then our last one is there. And to make sure that you're hatching, you see the set square has a little gap thingy there, you know? Okay, so I make sure that I put that gap on an existing line, and then I draw. Then I put it on the line that I just drew, and then I draw. Okay, so that makes sure that your hatching is equally spaced. So now we have two different figures, okay? This is now all else is hidden detail. Do you see there's my hidden detail, there's my hidden detail going down of what's left. Okay, so that I'm going to draw in solid hidden detail, okay? There. And then this line also going down here. Why? Because it is basically this line that disappears here at the back. Now, we all see this stays, no? So we're going to have the solid here at the bottom. That's going to stay in solid. And there's my section. Okay, so now I'm not going to do the top view because it's basically the same. The only thing that you do is you do an XY axis, do your projections, and you do exactly the same method but on a different view. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the true shape. Now to do the true shape, our XY axis needs to be parallel to our cutting plane. Now our cutting plane is not on an angle that we know. Okay, so of a set square that we have. So what we do is we set our set square on that angle. Just move this a little bit, like that, on that angle, and then we use our sliding method. And we slide, let me just move this a little bit, and then we slide, there. There's my XY axis. Now, my projection needs to be 90 degrees to that. So, I'm going to leave my ruler like this, and then I'm going to project 90 degrees there, and only my sections lines, okay, there, let me just Hold on, where's the 60? This one. Yeah, it's not going to fit you. Okay, let me just move this before I do that. There we go. That will work better. Okay, so just make sure if that happens, then just align it, but obviously you won't have a camera in the way, so that won't happen. Okay, so there, oh, and sorry, I forgot, project them all the way through, like that. Okay, so you see, project them all the way through. I didn't project those two all the way through, so let's just redo that one. Oops. And redo that one. Now, I can see that this corner here is on a 90-degree angle. Okay, so now I can use my rule of similarity, and you can either use these points that we projected here, or you can just use this shape. So, starting from the bottom, I don't know, I just like to start where there's one point, because it makes it easier. Here, so there, then you follow the line, follow to the new XY axis, and you scribe. Then, next point, and I like to go clockwise, it just helps me. Okay, so there, 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 and if I go clockwise, I know what lines I've already did. But then, I go to the one that's parallel to that one. Okay, there, there, there. Then I go to this one, there, across to the section, and over. And I go to the one that's parallel to that one, which is that one there, across there. So you see, you just follow this section the whole time. Then there, there, sorry, there, almost went to the wrong line, and there, there, and then there, there, sorry, there, there. Okay, and then I draw it in. Okay, so now.
It's not that bad, it's just a lot of work.
Yeah, but if you know the method, then it's quick. Okay, so then I'm going to draw that in there. Combine all my sides. There. 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 There, and remember it's two figures, so where these two figures meet again, solid line. And then I'm going to do my hatching again on a 45. So this time what I do is I put my set square there, and I start hatching. So you see that my hatching is always on a 45, even though the figure isn't on a 45. Okay. So, except if it's not obviously a figure that is a 45-degree figure, then you can use a 30-60 degree set square. Okay, now I'm going to go that way. I just make sure that these ones align. There, 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 there. There, and I do these ones here at the bottom, going there and there. Okay, and then don't forget to true shape. And there you go. That's it. Was it difficult?